Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where we talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Hotel Inhumans Season 1, Episode 5. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. Well, first and foremost, apparently we're creeping up on the 1 year anniversary of Ikuro working at the hotel. Because him and Sarah having their back and forth about his, usual response of, man, this job, and how he's not cut out for it, this and that. And Sarah has to kind of rectify it by being like, well, this is what our job is. You still acting like the way you are. You're acting like a baby chick, and like eventually you're going to have to grow out of being a baby chick about this whole situation, because we are here as a service, and there's a part to play in that, and we play our role in what our clients come here and need us to do, help them kind of, on their way in their journey of whatever it may be they need from us, So, obviously that ties in like the whole him being a baby chick situation in this particular episode, because they have quite the interesting clients, because this particular episode involves them servicing a couple, Iori and Rika, but the thing is, they're not the usual clientele, because it turns out they're regular law-abiding citizens because they got invited here. Because it turns out Iori has amnesia. He got amnesia saving Rika from an accident. And so they got invited to this hotel, and it's like whoever sent them this invitation knows them enough that hopefully they got these instructions of what to do here as well, and hopefully that will trigger some memories for Iori. I think it's interesting too that because obviously, he still doesn't have the sense for it. Once again, just showing you the difference between Ikuro and Sarah. She immediately clocks out, these guys are law-abiding citizens. She's also the one that figured out, let's put the letter on top of a candle to kind of reveal it. Because she even says, it's from our hotel. So, to be fair, Ikuro's been here in years, so maybe, there's certain aspect of, because we still don't know how long Sarah's been here. We don't know if she grew up in the hotel, and has she been here maybe someone she's connected to brought her up into the hotel at a very, very young age, or maybe she just acquired the job. Maybe she quit being a hitman, or maybe she was kind of like a child assassin. Cause she still seems on the fairly young side, because we don't actually know how old Ikuro or Sarah are. So it could be a situation that she abandoned that life and because once again, we still don't even know what Ikuro. We keep getting hints to why, Ikuro, there's hints to his past that ended up being here, the glasses and everything. But Sarah, I don't think other than knowing she's a skilled fighter, which you'd assume that have something to do with some assassin, background. But other than that, we haven't gotten any inklings like we have with Ikuro. But either way, Iori and Rika seem like a really cute couple. Rika's got this necklace that's got these purple tulip on it. And it's there's purple tulips here too. They end up getting dressed up and dining. It's a regular experience. But I think for Ikuro, it felt nice, considering the people, all of their clientele for the most part, this is the one out of the 99% of their other clients who are just killers and assassins, and this is the one normal couple you're kind of just servicing as a regular hotel. We also get to meet the doctor. I don't even know if they've even name dropped the doctor, but the doctor for the hotel, because we're slowly but surely meeting different members of the staff, because we met the bartender last episode, who was serving the drinks, specifically the corpse Reviver. Was that the name of the drink? Because that was the name of the episode. I try not to think about the episode too much, because every time I come across that thumbnail for that video, I'm just still freaking depressed. Because thinking about how Mina's story ends, it makes me so depressed. I mean, it depresses me more than the situation in episodes 2 and 3. Episode 4 just bums me out, man. I'm sorry. Either way, I think that's a benefit, that this episode is not as depressing. There's depressing elements to it, but it's not nearly as depressing. But either way, like I said, I went on my diatribe, sorry. But going back to it, my point before I went on my diatribe was we met the doctor, whose whole shtick is I want to understand people, which I think that's probably interesting hotel to be at, understanding and I said this last episode about kind of, it seems to be the theme of this show about people who are killers who have lost their humanity, that are inhuman becoming human again for whatever reason. And it seems like to have a doctor here who's trying to study them, I wonder, I mean, to work at this hotel, you probably have to have some sort of complicated past. So, but the doctor's whole shtick is like, oh yeah, like I'm trying to get people to sign these like documents being like giving me like free reign to kind of study your body when you die. Because it's like, for him, it's like there's so much knowledge out there because we know we've taken such deep dives onto the earth, the deep sea and space, yet there's so much about humans we still don't understand. And so that tying in with like the complicated nature that are humans, like I said, these people who are inhuman becoming human again, and it's fascinating from like, I think on a personal level and also on like a psychological level. But after just, spending like a cute amount of time together, Iori and Rika, they kind of get separated. Sarah goes with Rika and Ikuro goes with Iori. And there's the conversation about the struggles of, does he really want his memories back? Because for him, it's like the main reason why Rika stayed by my side is because she feels personally responsible for me losing my memories. That's why she tries so hard to get his memories back. But he's scared because he's like, but what if at the moment I get my memories back, she leaves me? Because it's like, what if that's the only thing binding us together? She won't have a reason to stick around anymore. So it's like, I kind of don't want my memories back. And, obviously, Ikuro's perspective on it is like, if that's the choice you want to make, then maybe that's best for you. But if you're deciding you don't want to run away from this and you want to learn the truth, he's like, I will help you out in whatever way I can. And that's when Sarah comes up, and it was something that was like rolling through the back of my mind. I was like, are we going to find out he's actually after Rika? Because of course there's going to be a twist to this thing, and we find out the truth is he actually is a killer. Sarah probably knew from the very beginning who he was. Oh, she probably needed some investigating, but I don't know if she immediately recognized his name, because I don't know if like Sarah's kind of got the Rolodex of like the connective, like does she have everything and everyone memorized? She seems like she has the mindset for that. Because whatever the case may be, like Ikuro was still in the dark about it. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if Sarah knew from the beginning or whether she did some research while they were here and discovered that and just didn't tell Ikuro. I get the feeling like for her, it has to be like, because once again, Ikuro didn't even know about like the paper. So that might also been a telltale sign for her immediately of like, oh, like that might have been a sign of, okay, this is a very specific letter and specific stuff. But I think she had to have known from the beginning. So. But yeah, it's all these particular things she's triggering his memories with, like the gunfire, attacking him, shooting him. But it's like, oh, I made sure you're wearing a bulletproof vest with your clothes, and the smell of the gun and just smell of blood. And she charges at him with her knife, and then he kicks in like his instincts because he gets his memory back. It turns out 6 years ago, he was hired by a guy that was like nearing his death. He set out a bounty on Rika because he had personal beef with her dad. And it's like, oh, like, I don't care how long it takes. When Rika is at her happiest, kill her. So I was thinking like, oh, was it an accident? Did you lose your memory by accident? Like, were you trying to actually kill her, but you accidentally saved her? It's like, no, the whole thing was part of the plan of, to sell this, I had to lose my memory. Now, once again, the whole point was it's not supposed to, it can take as long as it needs to. So that's why I was about to say, like, did Iori plan on like not losing his memories for as long as he did? I mean, but to go that far to such extreme lengths just to make that happen, it's like, I mean, you kind of don't really need to do that, but it's like, I'm a professional and I'm given an order, so I'm gonna see it through to the best of my ability. Because I'm like, yeah, that's pretty intense to go through that extent just to put yourself in a position so that you can be there when she's at her happiest moment and make it easier to pop her when need be. So you created this situation hopeful that something would happen between you, and then eventually it would lead you to coming to the hotel together, and you would, ultimately kill her. And so that's what this all was. And Ikuro's asking, like, was that really it? Like, is this all there really is to it? Did you feel nothing? Because then he goes, if you did, why are you crying right now? Because it mattered. It's like now having the memories, because he has his memories of, himself as a killer, that he was getting close to Rika for this purpose, to kill her. But now he also still has all the memories he had when he had his retrograde amnesia. It's like, they're coming in conflict with each other, which I think is the better side of this, because there's always a situation of, yeah, I remember who I was with my amnesia, but who I was originally takes precedent, and I'm still going to kill Rika. Because I was curious like how that was going to go, considering like technically they're both under your protection because their job is to look after the clients. And it's like, would his situation as a client like supersede hers? You know, even though they kind of came in together, he was a client before hers. Like, how does that work? Like, does his needs and necessity take precedent over another? Like, I think the point is like it's a complicated situation about like, luckily it has like a nice enough resolution, but I think it's just I guess it would be up to their discretion as concierge to decide how they would resolve that situation. It's up to them as concierge to figure out how to resolve that situation. So, but ultimately, Iori comes to the decision that he can't keep going because it's like, I don't want to kill Reika, but like knowing all that I know, remembering that, and it's like I think he wanted to kill himself because he's like, I don't deserve to be by her side, considering this was all orchestrated for the purpose of killing her. It's like, I made her fall for me, I fell for her, and he can't live with the guilt of knowing like, yo, I got closer just to kill her. It's almost like, for him, it almost feels like, was everything we built up, like it was fake, but it meant something to me, and I feel guilty about that. But luckily, Ikuro stopped him. I think for Sarah, she was probably watching to see what he was going to do. I mean, who knows what she would have done in that moment, because she probably would have just let him go, but you know, I don't know. The fact is, I think more so than anything, this was kind of a test for Ikuro to see what he would do under these circumstances. And so we end up ultimately finding out, though, that in the process of stopping him, Iori bashes his head, and now he lost his memories yet again. I was like, oh, that's kind of sad, because it's like, given an opportunity, like he will remember again. When it's like, well, to be fair, it took very specific instructions here and doing things very specifically, because he mapped all this stuff out and reiterated it over and over and over again in his brain, so that he like, these would be the triggers that'd be such essential memory triggers to restore his memory. So like, he'd have to go through all that again. But it's like, they'd have no more reason to, especially because Iori's like, Rika, I don't want my memories back. Because he's like, even if I got him back, I know that I know I'd still love you, and ask her to marry him. So it's kind of like, I don't need my memories back. As long as we're together and the life we've built together is all that matters. Those memories are what matter, not who I was. Who I am right now, in love with you, and I know me with my memories back would still love you. And we saw that was the case. So obviously, it's the complicated nature of, obviously, Iori, with all his memories back, remembered everything when he didn't have his memories, but now that he doesn't have his memories again, he doesn't remember anything about professional killer Iori. There's always a possibility that someone from your past could pop up, but that's a darker angle to the story that could always rear its ugly head. But I mean, I guess that depends on if you had any enemies as a professional killer or not, but you know, which, you know, is a potential issue, you know, in that line of duty. And so ultimately, it is midnight, and it is officially 1 year since Ikuro joined the hotel as a concierge. And ultimately, you have Sarah asking, why did he step in the way he did? And it kind of got him thinking, because he thinks about the conversation we didn't really get the full context of, but he talks to Iori about, do you know why Rika has that purple flower? Because it's like the purple tulip. What was it? It was something about love, I believe is what it was. But it's like, Rika had the same fear. She was afraid that if you got your memories back, that she would lose you too. So you both were fearing the same thing, because you both love each other and were scared to lose each other. And, you know, it's like, it shows kind of like what you both felt, regardless of the circumstances that led to it. What you both feel for each other is real. You know, it is this real love. And it's interesting that while Sarah's trying to get this answer from him, she pulls out her knife and she goes in for like a strike. Because, and I can only assume, and this is my assumption because it's not clear, because I think it's left open to interpretation, but it seems like the answer is that, I guess he's on a probational period. That's why she would kept being like, oh, if you need to raise up from being a baby chick. So I guess the thing is, you have a year time frame that if you don't pass that test, like after a year, if you don't prove that you're no longer a baby chick, then I guess it's your partner, as a, other concierge's job to, as the veteran member, it's their job to kill you and then find your replacement. I don't know if maybe that's what happened with Ikuro's predecessor. I don't know if that. I mean, I wonder, did that happen to Sarah or probably not? Because I don't know. I'm once again, we don't know how long she's been here. We also don't know if that's typically how it operates. Like that, there's only two concierges at any given time. Like, was Ikuro's predecessor the one who brought Sarah in? Did Sarah have to kill him? Because we had the whole glasses thing, but like I keep associating that with why Ikuro has the job, and it seems like it is. But maybe it's a death close to Ikuro outside of the hotel. Like it had nothing to directly do with the hotel. I don't know. There's probably going to be something that ultimately connects Sarah and Ikuro that maybe Ikuro isn't aware of. But like I said, it seemed like she was going to kill him, not less it was a thing of, oh, I'm going to test you. But the fact is that she did it without him ever noticing. It does seem like she changed her mind at the last second because of his answer. Because he's like, well, because he's like, it didn't seem like Iori wanted to die. And he's like, you said that I'm like too soft and weak, sweet. But he's like, maybe being sweet is fine. And for her, she can't help but laugh because she's like, oh, a concierge, considering what our job is. And you're talking about being sweet being the solution to the situation. She's like, I can't help but laugh. But it's like, yeah, their job is to be able to read their clients and find out what they really want, even without them saying anything. Because maybe even their clients themselves aren't really cognizant of it, but you got to be able to read them. And it's like in that moment, he was able to. And it's like, okay, that shows you do have promise and you are no longer the baby chick. So she's smiling, which he rarely gets to see her do that. Because I think there's a part of her that finds the response funny and ironic that his sweetness kind of seemed like, and softness was a hindrance before, but now she kind of views it like, oh, the funny thing is, like, it's actually your superpower. It's kind of something that makes you, it's something that only you can do as a concierge, just like there's certain things and perspectives only she can have. So it's kind of like almost this balance that but also I think there's a part of her happy, like, okay, you've risen up and I get to keep you around because I do like you and you've proven yourself. Because it's like, I would have killed you if you hadn't given me the right answer. So it's a really dark undertone to their partnership, but it's also like they probably go into this signing contract knowing like, yeah, this is I think she even said it herself, like, yeah, this is a job that kind of, the days kind of never end. It's just kind of like a job you're always on, And so there's probably like, you all go into this job knowing like this job will probably end up being the death of us. And that was something I was thinking last episode with the Mina stuff, that I feel like at the time we recorded this, the manga is still ongoing. I believe it's 9 published volumes. I believe last time I checked, it's been a little while. I believe last time I checked it was like 9 published volumes, but it could be more now. But I got that feeling, like I meant to talk about that last episode, but I get the feeling like this story is going to have like an ending where they both die. Like it just feels like it's one of those stories, whatever the circumstances are, it feels like they're going to die, and they're going to get replaced with the next concierges. It feels like that's the nature of this story. Like I said, I don't know what the situation is going to be, but I think they're both going to die. Like I don't think it's a job you can kind of just walk away from. But there's no like retirement. Your retirement is death. So I get the feeling like that's probably how this series is going to end, with the introduction of, not necessarily the anime, but specifically the manga. Will probably end with the introduction of the next 2 pair of concierges, most likely, so. But either way, it's kind of like happy for now, so let's not dwell on a potential sad future that may not come to be, but I strongly believe will. But yeah, her properly welcoming him to Hotel Inhumans, being like, good, you're officially a concierge. Once again, you were on probation basically until I could fully test you and test your mettle and your merit. But yeah, you've proven yourself. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the next episode has in store for us. It seems like it's going to, based on the title, it seems to be at least a 2-parter, maybe more. But yeah, I'm interested to see where the next episode takes us. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.